What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Shoebooty Sports. This is your host, Graham Powell, co-host over there, Bradley Brown, with the swag hat on the other screen. Say what's up, Brad.
What's going on?
We got lots of stuff going on. We got playoff basketball. We got college baseball, college softball, too. The roast of Tom Brady. WNBA season is going to start soon. Uh, Basketball recruiting, Arkansas, that is. We'll touch up on that. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoebooty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Once that screenshot is verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us Shoebooty Sports on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at Shoebooty Sports. Send us your hate tweets while you're there. Or Twitter, X, all the same. Okay, so let's get to it. Big news. Well, to touch up on this, we got the Thunder and Mavericks playing right now. I see it out of the very corner of my eye here on the TV. But first game tonight was game one. Celtics and Cavs went about like I thought it would. Boston's the better team. They were playing at home. Looked to be in control the entire game. No surprise there. I imagine the Thunder will take care of business against Dallas. But then again, you got playoff Kyrie, who's playing pretty lights out right now. You got Luca, who is Luca. Might be interesting. This could be fun to watch. I'll go in and check out this game when we get off of here. But the big surprise, and I don't know. I'm surprised, and few things surprise me, but I don't know that we should be that surprised. Minnesota's up 2-0 on the defending champion Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
Denver down 2-0.
And yeah. And got whooped pretty bad in both of those games. It's not like they were close games either.
I didn't see either game. I missed both games, but game one was closer. Game two was just an absolute blowout.
Yeah. I mean, game one was for sure closer than a 26-point game.
Yes, I saw the highlights. I mean, look at who the T Wolves have though. You got the next great player in Ant Man, Anthony Edwards. You've got Cat, Carl Anthony Towns, all the nicknames over here and acronyms. You got the defensive, isn't he the defense player of the year, Rudy Gobert? I mean, and he didn't even play. He didn't
He
even
didn't play
play
last night, yeah.
So yeah, as a wife, girlfriend, someone who's expecting a child. So I think it was his first child. So missed a playoff game for that. You can decide whether or not that's cool. I don't know. It's his call and the team, I guess. Either way, they didn't need him. They took care of business. So I guess it was the right call there. Uh, but yeah, Denver down 2-0 to the T Wolves. We're not in the finals. We're not in the conference semis. We are in the conference semis. I actually printed off a bracket just because it's not one we're used to seeing. Meaning, essentially, the new generation's here. They're not coming. They're here. They're here. Anthony Edwards. I don't know what happened there. Anthony Edwards and it's leading this charge of young superstars, uh, at least from American-born players. You got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And this is going to be we're getting into that new era of basketball. I mean, just look at the one seeds. You got the Thunder in the West as the one seed, and this isn't the KD Westbrook Harden Thunder. I mean, yeah, the Celtics are the one seed in the East, so that's not a surprise there. But look at the teams still in it. I mean, you got the young Cavs, you got the young Pacers who score a lot. You got the Knicks, Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. Knicks being a 2 seed. It's It's cool. It's cool to. This is fun to. This is fun for me to watch. It's something different. It's not a. I love LeBron as a player, but it's
Yeah,
cool to see something different.
we've had 21 years of LeBron, so
And the Warriors league for what felt like a decade. It's cool to see something different. Okay, so naturally, Anthony Edwards is getting MJ comparisons, and people, and I don't know that the comparisons are necessarily, hey, this is the next Jordan. I don't know that it's that. I think that they see what I'm seeing. They're seeing Jordan-esque qualities, killer instinct, athleticism, especially young Jordan, and this is it took Jordan a while to get over the hump, to get Pippen, get over the hump, and then get to the finals and win it in '91, beating the Lakers. The T Wolves are up 2-0 on the defending champs. Now this Wolves team is better than Jordan's. Not that I wouldn't say the championship team, but certainly his early playoff teams for sure. I mean this Minnesota team's much better than them. People are saying, "Hey, is this Jordan essentially on his way to his first title run?" That I think that's the comparison people are making, and naturally, people want to scoff at any comparison to Michael Jordan. Of course, Michael Jordan's the GOAT. We know he's the GOAT. There's never been one like him. There will never be another like him. But it's fair, I think, to say this is comparable, at least from what we're seeing. We're seeing greatness coming to life before our eyes. I mean, we are seeing a guy coming into his prime who's going to be the best player in the league. We're seeing him coming into his prime, leading a team over the defending champions up 2-0 in the series. And he's been absolutely amazing this postseason. I don't know that I will forget anytime soon, maybe ever, what he did to Kevin Durant dunking on him, or just speeding past Bradley Beal on that super fast first step and then throwing it down. Almost criminal. What he did to Kevin Durant it was
nope,
awesome.
it was borderline assault. Yeah,
Yeah, it was that. So I get the Jordan comparisons. What's your opinion on it? You even heard much of that?
I mean, I've heard a little bit of it. I hadn't really looked into it. I mean, the only things I've seen him, getting compared to Jordan is, him doing the whole shoulder shrug and stuff going down the court. But I don't know. I can see it, man. Maybe this is like Jordan going on to his first championship, but we'll see. I'm just curious if the Nuggets are actually going to win a game in this series.
Really? I mean, they'll win again. I mean, they're going back to Denver. Um, I mean,
Are
because
they?
yeah, no, yeah, they're going back to Denver. I mean, Denver was I mean, they were well.
No, they beat them. Both those games were in Denver.
You're right. They are. They're the 2 seed. I was looking at the bracket wrong. Like I said, didn't see either game. So yeah, you're down. You lost your first 2 games at home. Man, I didn't realize that because I was
Yeah,
thinking my next question was who's going to win this series, and my next
that
because
shouldn't be a
I
question. Yeah.
naturally, I of course, was going to say Denver going into that would have been my pick. Now, and I was still on the fence about it on the way home. I was thinking about it on the way home, like who am I going to pick tonight? I'm still not really sure. I didn't realize the first 2 games were in Denver. So, do you have Minnesota winning this series? I mean, if you're putting money on it,
Yeah, yeah, in 5 games max.
5 games max.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Yeah, because they beat them. I'm picking Minnesota now that I know that. I'm picking Minnesota to win the series. I'll say 6 games. I'll say that they won't go out like that. It doesn't look like it's going to be a 7 game series though. Not after game 2. Not after what I saw in what I did see in game 2. Just looking at the scoreboard, come up with that. with that view. What I think is going to happen there. Wow, this is wild to say. I mean, Denver looked like this looked like it was going to be their league for the next 3 to 5 years,
Yeah.
and this is what we're seeing for Minnesota. Man, that came fast. That came fast, and it kind of did with Denver. It took Denver a while to get over Golden State, but once they did, man, they made it look easy. But I
Yeah.
expected this to last more than one season. Of course, we're only 2 games in, but man, it's not looking good. It's not looking good if you're Jokic and the Nuggets and Jamal Murray, especially throwing a heating pad on the floor. But when I saw that, my first thought was like Austin Powers when the guy throws a shoe, and it's like, who
Yeah.
throws a heating pad? Really?
Yeah.
That was my first thought. All right, does a party you want to see Denver lose? And I like Denver, but this could
Uh,
be the ascension of something special
I don't
with.
know. A part of me does. I mean, I always like to see some new blood get those rings. So
And it's not just that, right? It's what has Minnesota ever done? I mean, they had like one good playoff run when it was KG and like Sam Cassell. Like, I mean, we're going way back when those guys were together. Well, what even was that? Early 2000s, mid 2000s.
in two
Uh,
thousands,
it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since Minnesota was relevant, and even then, you knew they weren't going to win it all.
yeah,
You just knew it's a pretty good team.
yeah,
It
they're
would be
just
cool
relevant.
to yeah, it would be cool to see the Minnesota Timberwolves, who've never been relevant really since I've been alive, compete for a championship, and to
Be
do
pretty
it with
wild.
the next star, the guy that's probably going to be the best player in the league for the next 10 years. It's this could be really fun to watch. Now, and Minnesota is more exciting than Denver. Denver's more methodic. Jokic wows me every time I see him play just because of everything he can do. But it's nothing that just jumps off the TV screen. It's passing is probably the most incredible thing, or he'll make a wild shot,
Yeah,
over somebody. I mean, he does things that wow you. I'm not saying he doesn't, but Anthony Edwards will do things that will make your jaw drop to the floor. So Minnesota is more exciting in that regard. I like Denver. I kind of want to see a competitive series, but then again, I'm
I
good
definitely want to.
with story.
I definitely want to see a competitive series, but I don't think we're going to see one with this series.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, I did not realize that those first 2 games were done. See, because Minnesota was the 1 seed for the longest time, and I wasn't paying that close attention to the standings. I knew they weren't the 1 seed because I knew Oklahoma City, they were. But um, yeah, I didn't know that they had dropped all the way to 3. But it's going to be interesting to watch. This is really interesting. It was already interesting, but now I'm going to pay pretty close attention to it now. I really look forward to Game 3. Is that tomorrow night?
So it's Friday,
Okay,
so they
yeah.
get some time to regroup. So
It's Friday?
yeah, that's what they said last night. Was Friday.
Wow. Okay. Well, Minneapolis is going to be rocking for first game there. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see it. All right,
Yes.
you think Jamal Murray should be suspended? I haven't heard any word on this. Do you think he should be suspended for throwing a heating pad?
No, he'll just should just think he'll just get a fine.
I think that's the
I'm
way it
fine
should
with
be.
that. I
I've seen a
mean,
lot of faux outrage.
now if somebody would have slipped on it and got hurt, yeah, suspend his ass, but didn't happen. So just give him a fine, move on.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of faux outrage about it. Of course, everybody has to have a hot take on these sports talk shows and or has to act outraged about everything. I mean, yeah, it was stupid. He threw a heating pad. He lost his composure.
Maybe he thought
Fine.
he was. Maybe he thought he had a towel. He was just trying to do the gentlemanly thing and throw in the towel.
Maybe so. It was getting ugly at that point. Well, and I saw the possession. It was a very frustrating possession if you're a Nuggets player or fan. Still, yeah, it's like Jokic said in the presser. I mean, he kept his cool, and I'm just, paraphrasing. And Jamal Murray should too. But yeah, fine him 25K or whatever you see fit, and let's get on with it. And let's not act outraged that he threw a heating pad on the court. It's not okay, but I mean, 25K, pays for a lot of dinners too. And so I'm fine with just doing something like that. Okay, let's jump over. Let's jump over to the WNBA for a bit. I saw their season's coming up. I think it's next Thursday the regular season starts. Of course, it's the Indiana Fever taking on somebody. I didn't see who it was. I know they play the New York Liberty, who I believe was the. I mean, they made it to the finals. They lost to the Vegas Aces, of course, but I mean, Breonna Stewart and company. I mean, obvious ball player there. But the big news I want to talk about, they announced today, saw this on ESPN.com, that the WNBA will commit $50 million over the next 2 years to provide full-time charter flight services to all teams. Before that, they were only doing flights for back-to-back games, if they had back-to-back games. And so these teams were often flying, commercial and have to fly with other passengers, just random passengers, have to go get their own luggage and all that, which you got to do what you got to do if your league's not making any money. You're lucky to just
Yeah.
be getting a flight. Another reason why I was baffled that Caitlin Clark was getting all the shade from current WNBA players, mostly former UConn players, but WNBA players, former WNBA players, throwing all the shade at Caitlin Clark, like, yo, we'll see when she comes and plays with grown women. I get it. You got a pride about you and all that, but she's about to make all of you more money,
Yeah.
like so much more money. We're already seeing that.
Yeah.
One of
Season hadn't even started yet. We're already seeing the effects.
yeah, there's already tickets are already sold out for every. I don't know about every game, but at least all these early on. And one of her teammates even said, I don't remember the player, but said we were playing in barns with fans, and now we're going to be playing in sold out arenas. Like we got moved to arenas for this. Like they understand, they get it. I mean, it helps that it's their teammate. They're going to be along for the ride, and that's gonna it's going to be interesting, man. I mean, the Caitlin Clark effect it's only going to continue to grow, and she looked pretty damn good in her preseason debut as well. I mean, was doing the same stuff she did in college, just was doing it in the WNBA. All right, let's jump back to NBA. Okay, the Knicks take game one against the Indiana Pacers in the conference semis.
Very
Already in the
questionable
conference
call at
semis.
the end of that game.
Yeah, it
A
was.
big flop. Huge
Yeah,
flop.
definitely missed that one. That's a tough call that you don't make in that situation. Shouldn't, but it's yeah, it happened, and as the Knicks got the edge as the result. I mean, Jalen Brunson was what we've come to expect from him. Nothing short of spectacular. I saw Jay Williams say something last week about Jalen Brunson could be the best Nick ever, and I, of course, naturally scoffed at that. I was thinking, better than Patrick Ewing. I mean, let's pump the brakes on that a little bit. I mean, he keeps this up, man. He's going to be in the discussion. If this is more than like a 3-year thing, Well, he's gonna if he continues this level of play, yeah, he's gonna be in that discussion. Absolutely, 100%.
Definitely.
Especially with the Knicks being competitive right now. Just looking at the bracket, it's still wild to me. So you've got the conference semis in the Eastern or in the Western Conference. You got the Thunder playing the Mavericks, and of course, the Mavs have good years here and there, but it's not a dirt team. It's Luca, it's Kyrie. I mean, it's a good team. I saw them. I saw them beat Memphis right here in November, and they were, and it was Memphis, but they were Dallas had something, and Luca was very much Luca, and Kyrie didn't even play that night. But you got the Thunder and the Mavericks, you got the T Wolves and the Nuggets. Of course, we expect the Nuggets to be there, but in the Eastern Conference, it's something similar. You got a team that we expect to see there in the Celtics, but everybody else is an up and coming team. Of course, we saw Cleveland last year emerge as a pretty good team, and they're pretty much in the same spot. Didn't look good tonight against Boston, but they're still in it. They're still in this. They're in the conference semis without LeBron, and then on the other side you got Indiana and the Knicks. You got the Pacers and the Knicks, and the Pacers are fun to watch in a sense because it's let's just outscore you. We're like we're just going to outscore you. That's their honestly, it should be their strategy with the way that team is built and put together. But I don't know, man. It's an interesting time. It's an interesting time in NBA basketball. I like it. We're being ushered into a new era and something different, and it's pretty fun. The young guys are here. They're no longer coming. They're here. Anything to add, Brad? You probably watch more playoff basketball than I have at this point.
Uh, no,
Wow.
nothing really to add. I was going to ask you if you've heard anything about the possibility of Durant going back to the Thunder next season
No,
or
I
before the
would.
end of his career.
I mean, maybe toward the end of his career. I don't know that I want that if I'm Oklahoma City. I think I'd be like, we're doing just fine. Now, maybe that's enough to put them
Yeah.
over the top. I mean, sure, I'm not going to say I wouldn't explore it, but I don't know that I would pursue it either. I'm not giving anything up to do it. Is he a free agent or something or what?
I don't know. I've seen some discussion about, people people wondering where he's going to play next season since this whole stint with Phoenix hadn't really gone as planned.
No,
But who who knows? But I mean, somebody just threw the idea out there. I was like, yeah, that would be kind of funny. Him going to an already stacked team again.
yeah.
That become his MO. But
Well, it's kind of like what LeBron did with Cleveland in a sense. He left and they had enough draft picks because they were terrible that
yeah,
they eventually got pretty good. And then he went back and joined them. The problem is, or the difference is, Oklahoma City has brilliant management as far as drafting and acquiring picks and scouting. They're 1,000 times better at this than Cleveland was when LeBron came back. Although Cleveland's doing a pretty decent job, but not like Oklahoma City is. I mean, they put together a squad much quicker than I would have figured they would have.
much quicker.
So scouting, like finding a way to get picks or trading for acquiring picks and scouting and drafting. I mean, it's all just been an A+ job from Oklahoma City management. So
They've
it's
killed it in the last two drafts. So
absolutely. I mean, you have enough picks, you're probably bound to get some of them right, but it's been pick after pick. Just,
yeah,
I mean,
they've gotten quite a few right. Yeah.
Yeah, SGA, Chet Holmgren has worked out. I listened to one of our old episodes. It just happened to pop up, and I I remember saying like I would not take Chet Holmgren number one overall, and I wouldn't. I would take Paolo Banchero of course, we're seeing what he's doing. But Chet Holmgren has turned out to be a pretty damn good player, pro.
Yep.
So it's a fun team to watch. All right, let's jump to college basketball for a bit. Former Kentucky forward Adu Thiero. Did I say his first name right?
I think so. Yeah.
I heard Thiero. I heard them say that like on some of the highlights I watched. He's the next Kentucky player to follow Cal to the U of A, the University of Arkansas. So he's now a Razorback. Hogs are number one right now as far as the transfer portal goes. So
I would hope so.
anyone saying that Coach Cal uh, just goes out and gets superstar freshmen, well, they got something to think about now because the Hogs are number one in the transfer portal. Now, granted, it does help that a lot of those Kentucky guys are following him there, but you go out and you get the Tennessee guy, the Tennessee post player. I whiffed on his name last week. I'm doing it this week. I do maybe, but you a former 4-star player, all SEC player from Tennessee. So Hogs number one, the transfer portal right now. I have the actual list right here. I can find it. Print off a lot of stuff today. Like this is where's that? Okay, it's right in front of me. All right. So Duke number one, and this is just the overall recruiting rankings, right? You got Duke number one with 8 commits. They got 3 4-stars, 5 5-star players. Alabama's currently at number 2. They got 6 4-star players and 2 5-stars. Arkansas has already surpassed that. They're third in the rankings right now, with 3 5-star players. And right now you got 4 4-star players. So this is unlike anything we've seen already, like even from Muss and company. Baylor,
Jonas Adu is the name you're looking for. So
Jonas Sadu.
yeah.
Maybe we'll remember that. We'll remember it next season for sure. Later this fall, absolutely. But you got Baylor behind them and Arizona after that coming in at number 5, rounding out the top 5 in the overall recruiting rankings. So seeing Arkansas there at number 3, I did see because I would check ESPN's way too early rankings, and Arkansas was nowhere near the top 25, and I kept thinking they must not update this very often or aren't paying attention. But I looked today, and they squeaked into the top 25. But with the Arrow joining, that's probably going to bump them up even more. I mean, Cal's going to put together a squad. We know this. It's just, and it's going to be, he's going to take his time doing it. He's not going to go the must route where let's contact 70 transfer portal players and grab the ones that'll say yes to us first. I don't know that that's how it's done. I'm being a little sarcastic and speculating some, but that's how it was compared to what Cal and company are doing at Kentucky. It's basically we're going to pick who we want, and it like Cal appears to be right. They're just changing headquarters. Apparently, he's told recruits like it's Cal University. We're just changing headquarters, which I have no problem with. It's yeah. Well, you knew what you were getting when you hired John Calipari. You were now a basketball school, and you give him the keys and you let him run it however the heck he wants. He's a Hall of Famer. So we can call it Cal University all day. Just win games and call it whatever the heck you want. We'll pick on that. All right. Before we run out of time, did you see any of the roast to Tom Brady?
Just the clips that were on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it.
Pretty much same. I saw some stuff on TikTok too, but it was mostly X stuff. That's X being Twitter. When I say X stuff, it sounds pornographic. But I would say, yeah, I saw most of it on Twitter. I didn't watch it. I don't have Netflix.
I
It's
didn't
like a
know.
month
Yeah, I
free.
didn't know anything about it coming on Netflix. So
I had heard about it, but didn't really pay much attention to it. But then I saw clips of it like as it was happening. That's where I got most of it. It was some pretty rough, but also very funny stuff. It's like comedy is everybody's like comedy's back. They're celebrating every little joke that's outside of being politically correct. And it's like we're not there yet, guys, but this is a good start. We'll say that. Like we're celebrating that, hey, we can say something like a joke again. So I didn't see I didn't watch it live, but saw a lot of the clips. I had questioned why Eli Manning wasn't there. I'm sure he was asked to be there, and he had I think declined. I'm sure he declined, but he did put out a pretty great tweet uh, before before the roast, I believe it was, or it might have been after. I don't know. Did you? I'm guessing you didn't see that. You had to
I
look
didn't
on your.
see. Yeah, I didn't see Eli's tweet. No.
Well, I'm about to look it up real quick. Give us a golf update when we're at it.
I did not get to watch any of this last weekend's tournament, so I can't really give you any updates on that. But the big news this week is Scotty and his wife Meredith Scheffler are finally expecting their kid, so he has withdrawn um, from this weekend's tournament. So that's
Looking
good
for
news for all the other players on tour. So I mean, he won't be participating in this week's Wells Fargo Championship. Uh, I doubt he takes more than a week off. So I haven't heard word if she's actually given birth yet or not. Um, but yeah, it should be this week anytime.
All right. Well, so not much going on in the golf world then, if we're talking about Scotty Scheffler's wife.
Yeah, not too much. I mean, there were a couple of live guys who received invitations to play in the PGA Championship here in a couple of weeks, so that was kind of big news. I mean, and then you got Phil saying that they're gonna make an even bigger splash here in a couple of years when they get PGA's top names to come over, which he says that seems like every year since they've started. So I no longer listen to Phil anymore. Of course, I'm still trying to find someone who actually watches live golf. So
You're just a forever live golf hater, aren't you? You're team PGA, no matter
I've
what.
been to a live event, man. It's just not it.
All right. Well, do you want to see or hear Eli's tweet?
Yes.
And I quote, this was one day ago. He said, I thought about attending the roast of Tom Brady last night, but I did not want to roast him for a third time. Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Huge pass on that. Like, if you're not going to go to the roast, that's a good way to that's a good alternate. I will take that any day. That's good stuff from Eli. Okay,
Yeah.
so hog baseball. We'll end on this. Hog baseball. They lost. They dropped the series to Kentucky.
Yeah.
A lot of Arkansas and Kentucky stuff going on right now, even in the other sports. Kentucky took the series. Of course, Hagen Smith dominated the first game.
Yeah. Didn't expect them to drop the series to Kentucky, but they did.
I mean, Kentucky's a really good club, man. I mean, top
We
10 team.
Man, we hadn't really been playing great on the road though this season, which I don't know, kind of scary.
Well, that dropped the Hogs to number 5 in the overall D1 rankings. Of course, that doesn't really matter that much at the end of the day.
No.
We're getting close to the SEC tournament, but it did give Kentucky a the conference lead essentially. 18-6 overall in conference play. They're one game ahead of number 1 Tennessee, who's 17-7 in conference play. Kentucky 18-6. Hogs still in control, though
Yeah.
of the West.
Yeah.
17-7 in conference play, 40-9 overall, so still a not too shabby
We
season. But
we if we take care of business in the next two series, what are they? Mississippi State and A&M. We'll be fine.
It's a home series against Mississippi State. Home series against Mississippi State, and they end the regular season at Texas A&M. So that's obviously a huge
That,
series. That one.
the A&M series better be on TV and not the what's the online station that they air a bunch of the games on, Statcast or something like that.
I don't know.
ESPN better be carrying those games.
Yeah, I mean Mississippi State's no slouch squad though. I mean
No, they never are. But
they aren't, but I mean they're third in the West, 14-10. But A&M right behind Arkansas at 16-8 in conference play, 40-8 overall. I'd like to see the Hogs take care of business against Mississippi State, and then finish strong against A&M. At least get 2 or 3, and up here because right now they're currently a 4 seed going into the SEC tournament. People don't really put a lot of stock into the SEC tournament, at least in
no,
baseball, sure. But it's still something I want to see our guys win. But it's history has shown it's really made no impact on how you're going to do in the postseason.
nope.
So just don't lose in the last tournament, basically. Okay. All right. Well, I said we'll get out of here on that, but we will touch up on Arkansas softball a little bit. They are 14-10 in conference play, 36-15 overall. They're 4 spots back of number 1 Tennessee. You got Tennessee, Florida, A&M, Arkansas. Looks like Tennessee's the clear cut studs of the league right now, 40-9 overall. But Florida, 43-12, A&M 39-12, Hogs 36-15. Missouri's low key 40-14. They're just a game back from Arkansas. So I mean, SEC play is SEC play, not just in baseball anymore, on the softball field too. So I mean, good to see the Hogs still in the mix. It's going to be even more interesting when Texas and Oklahoma join.
Oh, it's
But
just going to be even stronger,
yeah,
especially with Oklahoma.
well, Texas is not as good, but they're not far off either. So I mean they're right up there too. So yeah, it's that time of year, man. Fun stuff, and we got playoff basketball on right now, and I'm gonna get out of here and go watch it. Anything to add before we get out of here, Brad?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, well, we started strong. We closed semi poorly, but that's okay. We'll do better next time. Till then, this is Grandpal.
Brother Brown.
See y'all next week. Deuces, y'all.
Peace.